significant figures. This is from the textbook on page 24, question number 27. And it says, what is the number of significant figures in each of the following quantities? A, 4,867, B, 56, C, 60,104, and D, 2,900. I want you to answer these questions right now. Okay, so let me now go over the answers for these. For A, 27A, the answer for A is, well, there are 4 digits in it. They're all non-zero digits. There are 4 significant figures. I'm going to write SF for significant figures. For B, there are 2 numbers in it. Neither of them are 0, so there are 2 significant figures. The only things that we are always concerned about are zeros. If it's not a 0, it's automatically significant. C, 6,000 or 60,104. The zeros are between non-zero digits, 6 and 1 and 1 and 4. So all of them are significant. That makes it 2, 4, 5 significant figures. And for D, 2,900. If it ends in 00 and it's a Lefton number, we assume that they are not significant, though they could be, but we're going to assume the least, or in this case, that is 2 significant figures. Okay, so that's some examples of significant figures. Okay, now we are going to do this worksheet. This worksheet, it's found on Schoology. It's also found on the website, but I will post this on Schoology. This worksheet will be homework for Friday. Which is to do the significant figures worksheet. I'm going to do the first 5 with you. There are 2 sides to this. So one side, this side, well, the one that has these numbers on it, one side is all addition, subtraction. And the other side, here's the other side, is all multiplication, division. There are 2 different sets of rules. I'm going to start with the addition, subtraction side. They are different rules for multiplication, division. So let's just start. I'm going to do the first 5. Homework will be to finish the rest of these. And I want you to do all of these for homework, because the assignment that's going to be on Monday, I'm going to have you basically give the answers for these. Okay, so that's how I'm going to check this, is that you'll be choosing the answer as I go over this on Monday. Okay, so let's go over I'm going to do the first 5. They're just examples of this. Okay, so what I would probably do with these is I would just, in this case, subtract like normal on a calculator. I don't know if you can see the screen, and yes you can, or should be able to. So the first one, which was 9.5955, subtract 7.363, and what did I push wrong? Oh, I pushed the wrong button. 5955 minus 7.363, and on my calculator it says 2.2325. Let me write that down. 2.2325. That is not the final answer. And the reason why it's not the final answer, notice that this first number is 1, 2, 3, 4 places after a decimal point. The second number, 7.363, is 1, 2, 3 places after a decimal point. So this is 3 places after a decimal point. That's 4 places after a decimal point. The least is 3, so I need to round to 3 places after a decimal point. 3 places. And so I only want 3 numbers after a decimal point. Since after a 2 is a 5, this 2 is going to round up to 2.233 is the final answer. So rules of rounding are, notice again, I want to round 3 places after a decimal point. If the 4th place is a 5 or up, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I'm going to round this 2 to a 3. However, if instead of a 5, it was 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I would just cut it off, and it would be 2.232. Okay, let me do another one, the next one. is I would just add them like normal in a calculator. And like normal on a calculator, 2.3 plus 13.1286 plus 4.895. On my calculator, it says 20.3236. Let me write that down. 20.3236. Okay, that's my calculator answer. That is not the final answer. So first thing I need to know is how many places after the decimal point will the answer have? Well, you probably should have 1. Because 2.3 is only 1 place after a decimal point, whereas the second number is 4 places after a decimal point, and the last number is 3 places after a decimal point. The least is a 1. So I need to round this to 1 place after a decimal point. And the second digit after a decimal point is a 2, meaning I will cut that off to 20.3 should be my final answer. The next one, add like normal in a calculator. So adding like normal in a calculator, I get, well, what is it? 7.8553 plus 48.2 on, oh, I pushed the subtract button. Okay, let me do that again. 7.8553 plus 48.2 is 56.0553. Let me write that down. 56.0553. That's the decimal point there. Okay, that's not the final answer. The first thing I need to do with addition subtraction is see how many places after decimal point I need to round the answer to. And in this case, notice that number, 48.2, is only 1 place after a decimal point. The first number is 4 places after a decimal point. So I need to round this to 1 place after a decimal point. What is the number after the 0? It's a 5. And if the numbers are 5 and up, I round up. I round up. If that number after 0 is a 4 or less, then I would just cut it off at 56.0. Next question, number 4. I'm just doing the first 5. Add the question, add the numbers like normal. So in this case, or subtract in this case, 64.584, subtract 16.24, and on my calculator, I get 48.344. Let me write that down. 48.344. That's 8. Okay, so yet again, how many places after decimal point should I round this thing to? You're right, 2 places after decimal point. The first number had 3 places, 2 was less. So I need to round to 2 places after decimal point. What is the digit after that? It's a 4, meaning I just cut it off. It'd be 48.34. Okay, the last one on this side I want to go over. It's 25.26 plus 8.2. Plug in a calculator like normal. 25.26 plus 8.2. A calculator, that's 33.46. Let me write that down. That is not the final answer. I need to round to 1 place. 1 place after a decimal point. 1 place after a decimal point. After that number is a 6. After the 4 is a 6, meaning it will round up to 33.5. Okay, so I did the first 5 on this side of the paper. There is now the other side. I'm going to do the first 5 on the other side, which is multiplication and division. Rules of multiplication and division are different from addition and subtraction. I don't care where the decimal points are. What I have to do is just round the answer to the least number of sig figs of the stuff I multiply or divide by. Let's just do these first ones as examples. So I usually just like to plug in a calculator first. In this case, 1400 divided by 5.55. 1400 divided by 5.55 on my calculator is 252.2522523. I'm going to write that down. 252.225, and there's some more digits, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to go that far. Okay. I don't care if this is two places after this point. That is addition subtraction rule. What I need to know is how many sig figs are in each of these two numbers here. The first number has two significant figures. That's F. And, oops, it's off the screen. The second number has three significant figures. The least is 2. So I need to round this number, 252.25, etc., to 2 significant figures. To round that number to 2 significant figures, that's 250. That number, 250, is 2 significant figures. Yes, you can write that as scientific notation. They are both correct. But so 250 or 2.5 times 10 to the 2, they're both correct answers. Let's go over the next one. 2.88 times 0.095, and type it in a calculator like normal. 2.88 times 0.095, and I get 0.2736. 0.2736. That's my calculator answer, not the final answer. The first number, notice, has 3 significant figures. The second number has 2 significant figures. The least is 2. The least is 2. I need to round this answer to have 2 digits, 2 significant figures only. Zeros in the beginning of a number are not significant. So the first significant figure is a 2. The next one's a 7, so 0.27. 0.27. You can put that in scientific notation if you want, but it is not necessary in this case. But if you want, yes, that would be 2.7 times 10 to the negative 1. Okay. Rules of rounding also apply here. If after 7 was a 5 or higher, this would be 0.278. 2 significant figures, 2 digits total. Next question. Actually, I'm not even typing a calculator yet. I want to know how many significant figures the answer shall have. Well, this number has 2 sig figs. That one has 1 sig fig. So at the end, the answer will have 1 significant figure. Well, let me multiply these numbers in a calculator. 34 times 0.03 is 1.02 in a calculator. 1.02 in a calculator. I want to round that to 1 significant figure. 1 digit only. 1. 1 is 1 significant figure. Question number 4. I'm going to only do the first 5, so just 2 more. 510 divided by 43.9. The first number has 2 significant figures. Zeros at the end of the number, but before the decimal point, are not significant. The second number has 3 significant figures. So that number, which has 2 significant figures, is the least. I'm going to round the answer to 2 significant figures. Okay, well, let me plug that in a calculator. 510 divided by 43.9 is 11.617. There's more digits, but I don't need them. 11.617 and other digits. I only need to round this to 2 significant figures. I want 2 digits. This thing, well, the first 2 digits are the 11, but after that 1 is a 6. This will round to 12. That is 2 significant figures, 2 digits total. Question number 5, and the last one we're doing for now. 2,500 divided by 65.3. 2,500 has 2 significant figures. 65.3 has 3 significant figures. The least is 2. 2 significant figures. So I will divide this in a calculator and round whatever that number is to 2 significant figures. Okay, let me type in a calculator. 2,500 divided by 65.3. On a calculator, that's 38.284 and some other numbers. 38.284. 38.284 and some other numbers. I don't need to write all these numbers because I only need 2 digits anyways. The first 2 are 38. After the 8's a 2, so I can just cut it off. 38. Okay, so multiplication division rules are different from addition subtraction. Multiplication division, I'm looking for the least number of significant figures of the stuff I'm multiplying or dividing by. 2 sig figs, 3 sig figs, round the answer to 2 sig figs. Multiplication division, addition subtraction is completely different. For addition subtraction, I need to see how many places after decimal point is the least, and I round that answer to the least number of sig figs. I don't care how many sig figs the overall number has. That's a multiplication division rule. I just want to know, hey, that's 1 place after decimal point. Round to 1 place after decimal point. This is 2 places after decimal point. That's 3. I need to round to 2 places after decimal point. So the number of sig figs the answer has, or each of the choices has, that's for multiplication division. Okay, well, that's the end of this video. Great.